What's up guys, it's Frogfaduck. Laptop. Tablet. Most of the time, these devices are seen as two separate categories, but occasionally, manufacturers do try to blur the line between these two categories. For example, the Microsoft Surface, which is essentially just a Windows laptop crammed into a tablet with this detachable keyboard. I mean, you pull it apart, it's basically just a tablet that runs Windows and then boom, computer. Over the years, other companies have tried many wacky attempts to try and blur the line between laptop and tablet, such as the HP TC1100. If you're interested in seeing that one, I actually made a video about it. You can check it out in the top corner right here. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. Today, we're going to Japan, 2007, and taking a look at this. This right here is the Kohjinsha, I'm going to assume that's how you say it, Windows Vista Home Premium SH8KP12A touchscreen display, triple pointing device / swivel LCD, 7-inch wide LED backlight display, black color, always be with you. Yes, here it is in its original box, and it's actually still in pretty good condition considering that, wait, how long ago was 2007? Oh my god, wow, I feel old. Got a nice little carrying handle here. If we take a look at this side, look at that big Intel logo. They want you to know that this thing's got Intel inside. There's not really much else on the box, but what we can do is, well, open it up and see what's inside. Ooh. Okay, we got some styrofoam and the actual computer itself, but first, let's take out this little thing and see what this is. We got this thing right here, let's open it up. I think we go from the front just like this. Oh, look at all these goodies inside. Here we have the power adapter, you know, just your basic standard power adapter, except for the fact that it ends in a Japanese plug, which of course I can't plug in, but it does go to one of these figure 8 plugs, so we can actually just swap it out to a normal Australian plug and it'll work just fine, because input can actually go all the way from 100 to 240 volt, 50 to 60 hertz, it's fine. In this bag, we have this thing. This, my friends, I believe is a TV antenna. Bit of an interesting little thing we have here. And this bit of bubble wrap, we have a spare stylus to touch the screen with. We got some more empty packaging. Don't worry, I'll slot it back in. Yeah, wow, this is shiny. This must be the antenna. Yeah, look at that. This is probably like a smaller type of antenna. Ah, yes, a quick start guide, all in Japanese, therefore I can't read it. If you know Japanese, feel free to translate or just read it and then not tell us what it means. Probably just telling you how to set your things up, which would make sense if you just bought a new device like this. This thing is also in immaculate condition. Because it's from 2007, you'd think that this stuff would all get destroyed, but no, the previous owner kept this in great condition. Oh yes, we've got the official Kohjinsha book. Look at this hyper-realistic 3D logo. This would make any Fruitiger Aero fanboy wet themselves. This book also hasn't been used much because there's no crease to it. You can tell when a book is fresh when you try to open it and you feel a lot of resistance trying to open it, so I don't want to open it and crease it. This is still in absolutely brand new, pristine condition. I'm not going to open it up fully, but you can see there's all sorts of instructions in here. A lot of these instructions are inverted. I don't know why the colors are inverted, because that's black. I don't really know why they did that. There's a handwriting recognition, the keyboard, a little bit of spoilers in here for the actual device itself. In here is a bonus strap that you can attach, I think to the bag or to the laptop itself. Again, this is also in pristine condition. I don't really want to take it out. I'm going to leave it in there. Oh, okay. So actually this handle right here, these are instructions on how to attach the handle, and the handle goes onto the laptop itself. Look at this, we've got even more instructions. These are literally instructions on how to use the bag. We haven't even gotten to the bag yet. Okay, so here's the antenna. Don't put it on the computer. Don't put it on the screen. God, I love these images. Don't put it inside the bag. Put it on your windowsill instead. And of course, if you don't know, a circle in Japan means a tick here in Western countries. Digi Best TV. So this is probably telling you how to use the built-in TV tuner, because yes, you can watch TV from this laptop. but not in Australia, of course. Hey, this gets to show us at least what it would have looked like. That actually looks pretty damn cool. We've got the official Windows Vista Home Premium booklet. Wow, Fruitiger Aero fans must be absolutely creaming themselves right now. Ah yes, everyone's favorite, desktop gadgets and the Windows Vista sidebar. We all love this, don't we? And it's just more and more and more information. Everything you could ever want to know about Windows Vista is all in this booklet. Look at that, Windows Media Center. Did you ever use it? Probably not. I sure didn't. Speaking of the bag, here's the bag itself. Now, it's not really a bag, it's more so a sleeve. It's of this neoprene material and it's pretty thin. There's this bit that opens up only this much. If you try to open a bit more, you'll see that it's actually stitched here. And in here, you're meant to put the antenna. I don't know, the instructions were basically telling us how to use it. It opens up from the top here. The laptop thing goes in here, close it shut, and that's basically all you get. Pretty neat. So that's what comes in the box, but let's see the device itself. Bring in the box. Slide this out. Ooh, and here it is, the genuine Kohjinsha. At first glance, this thing looks like a portable DVD player of the time. And yep, I can see where you guys may be coming from because it is gloss black, looks really bulky on the bottom with this like weird swivel top. And also, it's literally the size of a portable DVD player. I quite literally have one of these stashed away in the house somewhere that will look exactly like this at the same size. Let's take a closer look at the device. Let's start by looking at the left side, why not? You might be looking at this and wondering why the device looks so crusty, and that's because there would have been white rubber that would have gone around the entire laptop, but unfortunately this stuff is starting to get crusty and it is, yeah, flaking off as you can see. So this rubber's not really long for this world, and I'm probably just going to scrape it all off at some point, but at least here I can show you how badly some materials age on devices. Okay, starting off, we have a Kensington lock port. We also have the power adapter, an Ethernet port, got a USB port. Now actually, these two ports are actually covered by a little cover that I've got somewhere. So the cover's meant to go on there, but literally right as I was buying this device from the person I was buying it off of, I broke that off instantly because, well, this has gone brittle and it's just broken off. At least he didn't mind and I ended up buying it anyway. This right here is a VGA port, no screws. Here is the power button. Now you can't actually slide it without pushing this little button in first, so that's actually a good little safety mechanism to make sure you don't lose your work. Moving to the front, we got a volume jog wheel. So it's not actually a slider, it's a jog wheel, so you flick it. You got your separated headphone and microphone inputs. But before we move forwards, let's move backwards up here because there's actually a secret little thing up here. This right here is the antenna port for watching TV. So you can plug in your antenna. There's a physical wireless switch on the front of this device, which, yeah, maybe some devices today should have because, man, it'd be good to switch off and go outside and touch grass every once in a while. There's also one more little hidden trick at the end here. This right here is actually a slot for the pen. That's where it is. It looks like a Nintendo DS stylus and it works in pretty much the exact same way too. Coming over to this side, you've got an air vent. You also have a compact flash reader, which it's not a flap, it's this little piece that goes out. Now I actually have some compact flash cards right here that we can take a look at. 32 megabytes, 20 megabytes, look how big it is. They were proud of this size. And also a Kodak 32 megabyte picture card. You go, Kodak. Let's plug this little goober in. It just goes in like that, clicks in nicely. Now you're reading your pictures off your Kodak picture card, and once you're done, you just unplug it. Thanks for the Cameo compact flash cards, and that's probably one of the few times I'll ever need to bring these out for a video. And then when you're done, you can put in the little protector so it looks all fancy and nice. Speaking of which, the SD card slot also has a little protector in it which you need to actually pull out. It doesn't click. You guys might remember some of the old HP Elite books. They also had stuff like this on it. This was a very of the time kind of thing, you know, late 2000s, early 2010s. SD card protectors. Got another USB port. Another Kensington lock port. It's actually very rare to see a computer with two Kensington lock ports, but of course it's for that carry handle strap thing that I brought out just before. The fact that it uses Kensington lock means that you could probably use it on other devices relatively fine, although you only get one side on because most laptops only have one. Alright, are we finally ready to turn on this device? No, because we need to look at the bottom of the device. Here we've got the model numbers and serial numbers and everything, the Windows Vista key, which, I'm not letting you guys have this time. This cover has this felt material on it for some reason. I don't know why. It's actually a little bit interesting. Let's see what's under the screw. Gotta get my Linus tech tips. Thanks, Linus, for the tips. Wait, why am I thanking Linus? He didn't give me the screwdriver. I had to buy it with my own money. Linus sponsor me already. Jeez. And yep, there's our SK Hynix, 1 gig of RAM. Let's see if there's any more in here. Okay, I think we're finally ready to open this guy up and see what's inside. Ooh, okay. This lid actually opens up 180 degrees with a really satisfying snap. Look at that. So I can actually hold this and film it at pretty much any angle, which is going to make this a lot easier. Of course, because it came from Japan, you've got your Japanese keys. There's a few interesting keys on here. For example, this one switches you from English to Japanese. Your Bluetooth, your sleep, your wireless, your camera, your TV, P1 and P2, your fans, all sorts of stuff. Some of these other keys I probably haven't figured out. A lot of these are probably Control Alt. I don't know what these ones are. You get your really small spacebar because Japanese keyboards just have small spacebars. Look at this absolutely tiny trackpad. It's so small. It's like barely larger than 2 of my index fingers. And also the left click button is longer than the right click. So you know what? I think that works. It's lopsided for a reason. It's a TV. It's a tablet. It's a camera. And it's silent. No, it's not. I can tell you that much right now. Well, that's just a pretty standard laptop keyboard of the time, right? Well, guess what? There's even more! If we look on the side, we've got our Windows Vista sticker, of course, but we also have a D-pad on here as well. These act as your arrow keys, which are handy, and you also have a little pointer nub like what ThinkPads have, so it actually lets you control this like a tablet from up here, which is actually kind of nice. We've got a few keys on here: launcher, shutter, rotation, enter, your brightness controls, your scroll wheel, which, yeah, just scrolls, and your left and right click, which is very handy. And of course, all finished in late 2000s glossy black plastic, so it all catches fingerprints and scratches and even micro scratches, making it next to impossible to clean for this video. Oh my god, the white rubber from the edges here are just going absolutely everywhere. It's in the keyboard, it's all on here. I gotta scrape all this off at some point. Oh, and also there's a webcam up here. But just when you think you've seen all this thing's party tricks, guess what? There's even more, because the screen does this. What? That's right, the screen rotates, you can flop that down and boom! It's a tablet! How cool is that? Now you guys might be thinking, this thing's gonna be way too chunky to be a tablet. Haven't you learned anything from your Windows XP tablet video? Well no, because this chunkiness actually feels pretty damn good. This part here is slightly curved, so it actually sort of fits in your hand a little bit better. This bottom part here is lower, so it actually helps with your palm. Of course, this corner could have been dealt with a little bit better, but what it makes for is an actually pretty ergonomically sound experience. And your thumbs just go right here. It makes sense. I actually really like this. You can even, if you want, open it up and use it like this. You can prop it up. You can even do this if you really want. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can do that. It gives you the options, and I like options. Yeah, now I'm getting real work done on my computer. And because of the way it's designed, it's actually not really limited on how you can position it. So you can have it like this and then fold it like that to get a little zigzag PC. So that's pretty cool. Alright, let's actually plug this thing in and try it out now. But before we turn this on, let's talk about this video sponsor, Odoo. Are you currently struggling to manage your own small business? Well, today's video sponsor, Odoo, can help you out with that. Odoo is an all-in-one platform that allows you to manage your business simply and easily. Their suite of apps allow you to track the progress of your projects, set deadlines, budget effectively, and collaborate in real time. Using the CRM application, you can track your leads, get accurate forecasts, manage communication, and close deals with your clients. The information is presented in cards within a Kanban view, allowing you to see all the information you need quickly and easily. You can schedule calls and meetings with your clients without even leaving the app. And revenue forecasts allow you to track your previous results and forecast future ones too. Why use apps across several different platforms when you could just use one simple app? You can use Odoo CRM for free with their lifetime free first app offer with unlimited hosting and support. I don't get why you haven't checked out Odoo yet. Link in the description below. Here's the charger, all plugged in and ready to go. And on goes the laptop. Next PC life. Yes, Intel. Windows Vista Home Premium. No Home Basic on this one? Nah, Home Premium. This ain't no netbook. This thing's actually probably better than a netbook. Ah, there we go. Here we are in Windows Vista. People don't like Windows Vista, and honestly the requirements for it were pretty high upon launch, so I'm kind of wondering, especially the fact that this is running Aero, how well this will run on this processor, because it's obviously some underpowered mobile chip to get this form factor to work. Now while the hard drive is booting up, everything's a little bit slow. Yeah, you can see right here that Aero is working. Oh man, this is a bit sluggish. Yeah, okay, it's trying to open up this thing. Okay, now that it's finished booting up all this crap, like the Windows Vista start thing and the sidebar and the pen input, it might start speeding up a little bit now, but yeah, Windows Vista is a little bit of a slog. Windows 7 can't help with boot times. Let's get out the pen and let's start using the screen. So while I could use this like a laptop, that's boring. We're gonna use it like this. But of course, being an older LCD, you can see the viewing angles go to complete crap really quickly, but that's okay because we can just simply lift up the screen and boom, now we get perfect angles. Let's have a look at the tablet experience because, well, quite frankly, you already know how the laptop experience is going to go. Let's navigate around using this, and you can see we can just take the stylus and move around like that. It's honestly a little bit slow trying to render all the aero effects, but it does it. I'll give it that, it actually does it pretty damn well. Also, if I lightly touch, it's not actually registering because this isn't a capacitive screen like modern touchscreens are. This is actually a resistive touchscreen, just like what's on a Nintendo DS. So if you like using your Nintendo DS, this is basically the exact same tech. If I move the mouse around, this little mouse icon appears. If I click that, that's a good way to click and drag pretty easily because I can do this, click and drag, move everything around, or you can also just do that too, so I don't really know what's the point, but hey. But also, if you don't like using the stylus, you can use your fingies. Because it's a resistive touchscreen, you could pretty much just use whatever you want, because all you're doing is just squeezing the layers of the screen together to detect the touch. So you can use your fingers, you can even use useless AI trash and it'll still do it just fine. Pretty much anything you could think of, really. Here's the widgets, all in its aero glory. We can add a puzzle. Boom, now we got a puzzle. Let's play the puzzle. You guys remember playing the puzzle on your Windows Vista machine? Okay, here's the problem with this mouse thing. If I click up here and then I want to click here, now it's just doing that. So it actually kind of gets in the way a little bit of my puzzle. So I mean, that's cool, I guess. We've also got this really cool like meter here that looks like a car speedometer that shows you your CPU and RAM usage, which is fun. I'm going to very quickly open up the start menu, see if that increases. Yep, we're using now 25% of the CPU to render that. Now what happens if I open up File Explorer again? What happens? 87% of the CPU, so bit of a Windows Vista moment. But look, overall, things are not too shabby on here. First of all, the rubber is seriously disintegrating. The air from this vent is a little hot, but once it's up and running, the fans are actually pretty quiet on this thing. You can also very much hear the mechanical hard drive clicking away inside. I absolutely want to swap out an SSD in this thing. I'm just a little bit afraid that this might be one of those 1 point whatever inch micro drives that we use in iPods instead of a normal laptop size one. And if that's the case, SSD replacements aren't that common, but I could always use a compact flash or micro SD card adapter to bring this thing up to date with flash storage. Also, I just noticed, if you have a look in the corner here, you can actually see, well, some of the rubber that is disintegrating and going all into the screen. Look at that. But also, yeah, there's a built-in screen protector on here, so I don't actually need to worry about scratching this thing too much because there's a screen protector, and I gotta get more of this thing off. That's okay, I've got one of the tools of the trade. But what if you don't like using your stylus or your fingies? What if you're holding the tablet like this and you're walking around? Well, holding it like this, first of all, it feels pretty damn comfortable, except for this charging port. It's a little bit in the way. But you can see here, I'm using this direction button, and then I can press enter up here to open up recycling bin. But oh no, what do I do now? Well, guess what? You can use the pointer. The pointer works pretty much just like a knob that you'll find on an IBM ThinkPad. And yep, you can just sort of zoom around the OS. I will say though that this pointer doesn't exactly feel the best because the acceleration is kind of just all over the place. Honestly, it's better than nothing. If you push really hard, I can zoom around. I'm pretty sure if I press in the middle of it, it actually, yeah, it clicks. It clicks and drags, which can really get in the way of things. So if you move it slightly, it just moves the mouse, but if you push in and move, yeah, let's just say that makes this thing a little bit unintuitive because you're constantly going to be clicking and dragging things accidentally. Not a fan of it, to be honest. Let's try the mouse button. So you got your right click, which works as you'd expect, and then you've got your left click, which that took up 74% of CPU. I'm going to leave this thing up here because I think it's absolutely hilarious watching the system basically redline trying to do basic tasks. Yeah, let's just say you're trying to show someone your photos. You go here, double click, here's your sample photos. There we go. Let's have a look at this one. We can try out the scroll buttons. Who would have thunk it? They scroll. It's probably page up and page down or something like that. And you can even use the direction buttons right here to sort of move around between the options. And then we can open up, using enter, some turtles. Hell yeah. The amount of times I was given this turtle to do some kind of Photoshop assignment for in school were very numerous. You've shown everyone your turtle, but what about the other photos? Hey, look at that. You can just use the direction buttons to do that. Oh, we do have the brightness control here as well, which obviously controls the brightness, but we're going to have to max it out because screens weren't that bright back in the day. What does rotation do? This lets you change the rotation of the screen, which is going to throw everything off, so I'm not going to do it. Let's see how the battery's doing. 17%. What if I unplug it? Ah, would you look at that? The battery works. The battery still works in this thing and you can take it around on the go. What else can we do in this thing? Let's see. Let's press the launcher button. And what does this do? Uses 100% of CPU, of course. And what we actually get is this like interesting looking music player. If we have a look up here, we've got the volume jogger. We can actually turn up and down the volume. We can play this. I'm going to put this at very low volume because I don't even know if this is copyrighted or not. The hard drive spins up and boom, this thing is now an iPod. It's now a music player. Lift it up and just leave it like this. It's actually pretty damn cool. Let's see, there's a CD button. What does this do? Ah yeah, this shows you the albums and stuff. Now, I'm wondering a few things with this. First of all, what program is this? And two, is this music pre-installed or did the previous owner put all this on? Because if so, damn, they've got some good music choices because I actually really like this. How do I go back though? Because there are other options. What if I click this? Okay, so that button lets you do that. We can go back to here. We're using 100% of the CPU because of course we are. It's Windows Vista. Okay, this is probably sorting it by whatever. If I click that, we go back. Origami experience, so that's what it's called, I guess. We got this video thing. Apollo 13. Oh my god, it literally is a trailer to Apollo 13. I can tell you right now, the speakers on this thing are pretty bad. At least it's competent. You can hear what they're saying, you can see what they're doing, and it's playing the video pretty respectfully. Let's go back. Let's try whatever this is. Oh, okay, it's a launcher. Yeah, I'd really like if these buttons actually worked in the software, but it doesn't, so oh well. What is this program? Kernel error? What about Windows Journal? Because I remember in the Windows XP tablet video, I actually really liked Windows Journal. It's the same thing from Windows XP. And we can put our hand on the screen, or it kind of acts as palm rejection as long as we don't push too hard. We can go... Okay, and that's the problem with putting your hand on the screen, is that you can only do one point at a time, and then it starts to freak the hell out. Guys, you know what this reminds me of? PictoChat! Because this is basically what you do in PictoChat. You get your little stylus out and you draw funny little pictures. For example, yeah, all I can say is that the touchscreen isn't very accurate, but all I know is that I think this whole thing gets an A+. The Windows Vista Journal experience kinda sucks on a resistive touchscreen like this, but it works insanely well on that Windows XP tablet I keep bringing up because that thing has a Wacom tablet built into it. So yeah, it does work, but it's just okay. The Microsoft Origami Experience Pack. So I think that program might actually be a Microsoft thing. No wonder why it looked so much like proper Windows Aero. Look at this, folks. We got a 2.0 in the Windows performance thing. We got 1 gig of RAM, 800 megs of CPU. It certainly does work, alright. Now you guys might have realized that I missed a button on here when I was trying to show all this off because I didn't press the shutter button. What happens when you press the shutter button? Webcam Studio turns on. As you can see on the side, I had many a fun time trying to explore this. This right here is how people would have looked like back in the day on their webcams and stuff. When you're doing all your Skype calls and stuff. Rip Skype, because Skype is now dead. And I'm gonna be real here, the webcam quality is perfectly crumulent because let's be real, webcam quality has only really gone up in the last year or two with Snapdragon laptops and a few Windows manufacturers actually putting in some effort. Let's see what really interesting and novel things we can do with this thing. So we can press snapshot to take a photo. and it adds it into here. It's a .bmp file. We can double click it in System 32 apparently. Okay, it's just opened up System 32. What, you're trying to tell me it's dumping the photos in System 32 somewhere? If I press consecutively, it spams a bunch of photos. We can do video capture. We are now capturing the video. And now we're gonna stop the video. Okay, now we got an AVI file. Don't put us into System 32 again. Oh, here we go. This is actually good. Windows Media Player 11. Well, I left the room and I came back and it's still trying to load. Can I turn up the volume? I think the volume's already at the max. This is the video capture with me yelling into the mic, so maybe this thing will pick up something and you'll actually be able to hear some audio. What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube video. Today we're going to be doing a Windows Vista review. It's slow. It didn't even pick up any audio. What is even the point? Now I am going to try exporting these files to see if I can even get this thing to work. Okay, so that wasn't really impressive, like, at all. Oh, look at this. We can even zoom in. So you can really see my eyeball nice and up close in about 64p. And zoom out, and zoom out, and zoom out. Okay, this thing actually zooms out pretty damn wide. Look at that, you can actually see quite a bit now. Okay, let's go to Effect. For whatever reason, we're gonna have to press the arrow key like this. We got the red filter, we got the blue filter, we got the green filter, ooh. And we've also got, oh no, the X-ray filter, what? Can you see my bones? No, you can't, because all this does is invert the video. It doesn't X-ray anything. We got the gray filter so you can get some really aesthetic shots. We got the emboss filter, oh god, that looks horrific. POV, you are 6 years old and you're playing with your parents' computer for the first time. Whoa, it looks so cool! And that's it, the emboss filter is the last one. That's all the filters you get. It's really basic. So yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to do in this webcam app, it's very basic. Let's play some games on here. Aha, here we are. We can find our usual built-in Windows Vista games such as Spider Solitaire. Now this I can imagine would work insanely well with the pen, which is why I chose it. The problem with late 2000s black glossy plastic is that it gets really dirty very easily and it just shows all the fingerprints and scratches, therefore it makes it hard to clean for the video. I reckon we're going to be doing intermediate because I've been doing 4 suits and it's a little hard for me. I know, skill issue, but we're going to do 2. We can maximize it. That might have been a mistake, never mind. So here we go. We could just simply take our cards and just start playing. And because the hint key is currently pretty much out of reach for me, I can't really cheat with hints either. I'm not going to put too much effort into this because I don't want to have just hours and hours of 4K footage of me trying to play Solitaire, just filling up my phone and my hard drive. So I'm only just going to play a bit to sort of get the idea. The best way I can describe this is basically Nintendo DS vibes. The touchscreen and the stylus tech is exactly the same as the bottom screen on a Nintendo DS. I'm not actually trying to play a full long game on here. In fact, just to prove that, I'm just going to open these all up and show that I don't really care about winning this one. So yeah, it all works, and when you die, and then you press exit, and it's all done. Well, Solitaire was a fun little distraction, but can this thing play any real games? After all, it's got some physical buttons on the screen. Maybe you could actually use this like a Steam Deck kind of thing. While I don't have any proper PC games on here, what I do have is the E word. The E word being emulation. I've gone ahead and installed an old version of Project 64 that will work on Windows Vista. Now I didn't put any research into which version of Project 64 is the newest that will run on Windows Vista because I'm on a bit of a time crunch with this video and I have to film it all before I go on a trip. So I just simply found version 1.6 and gave it a shot. Let's open it up. This must be really old because Project 64 does not have this icon anymore. Little bit of stutters, but this thing is handling it beautifully. Look at this thing. 100% of the CPU. Oh. Better audio stutters. It's not handling it perfectly, but it's doing its best. You know what? This is fine. Actually, it's not running very well on full screen. Okay, but how am I going to control this and actually play the game? Well, there's a little D-pad on here, and we can map the D-pad to the analog stick, and it just works. Well, not really. It doesn't seem to really want to do up-down very well. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute pain to control. And how do we select? Well, I mapped A to the scroll button here. I really, really wish I could have mapped this pointer to the analog stick. This thing would have been... Actually, I don't even think that would have been that good, to be honest. Okay. Okay. Looking good. Oh, no. Okay, so I can only move one way at a time, and it won't let me press A while I'm moving. That is so bad. Oh, that sucks. That actually sucks so much. I don't really think there's any other button I could have used. Yeah, because it won't even let me do B either. I can tell you right now, this really does not bode well for playing emulators on here, because these scroll buttons can't be used while the D-pad buttons are being used. That is absolutely horrible. It's stuck. Mario keeps wanting to go that way. Now, I can already imagine that just spinning this around and just playing with the keyboard would be a much better experience, but I'm not about that life. We're gonna play it this way. Can we get 1 star playing it with these munted controls? Oh my god, this sucks so bad. I can barely make jumps while not being able to move forwards properly. This was so close to being something really good. Okay, I was at least able to get into the painting. Well, here we are, we're in the game, and it's running pretty damn well, even on battery. A little bit of visual bugs. There's no shadows anywhere. It seems to be running okay. Actually, not having a shadow really is bad for the depth perception in this game. I wish you could bind left click and right click to jump, because then I would actually be able to use them while moving around, but unfortunately that is something I cannot do. So again, this really does not bode well for trying to do emulation on here, because even if I were to bring up something basic like the original Super Mario Bros, I'm not going to be able to move and jump at the same time, which is going to basically ruin the entire game. Alright, let's see how it runs playing like this. If you think about it, now this has just become one of those GPD wins, those like clamshell ones. It's pretty much this, except instead of a gamepad and a keyboard, it's just a keyboard. We're viewing this all again. We're running on battery power perfectly fine, so kudos to this battery for working after all these years. It's very rare for a laptop. Alright, let's see how things play out in this timeline where I didn't try to use the on-screen buttons here. Okay. And of course, it works perfectly fine and it's pretty playable. I will say though, you'd more want to play like this than trying to hold it, because then this gives you proper WASD controls. While trying to do it like this, that's not really going to work properly. I'm still going to try though. This thing is so lightweight and portable. This would have been an amazing way to play Mario 64 back in 2007. I'm just going to do WASD like this. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to put this down and get gaming. It works. It runs just fine. I'd call this a success. Like, it's not the most intuitive thing in the world, but it still works. Oh my god, look at the top of the screen. Oh my god, okay, so pressing Z for too long does this. Oh, is that the input bar? Something to do with the tablet PC. Things are causing the inputs to not really stay in the program properly. So that's why it seems to be lagging whenever I press that too much. That's a bit of a downside. Alright, here we go. And enter. It's like going into bullet time. Here we go. Boom. Got him. Yeah. I actually cannot tell where the hell I am without these shadows on the ground. You can tell why they added shadows to Super Mario 64, because you can barely tell where you even are. So, here we go. That was a little bit painful, actually. But let's be real though, desert island situation, if you had to play Super Mario 64, this will do you just fine. I'm noticing some issues with the texture as well, like that sun painting on the bottom keeps disappearing and reappearing. And that, my friends, is the Kohjinsha Mini PC. This thing is honestly super cool and runs okay on Windows Vista. Actually, it's not that fast, but if you need to get some work done, the battery life seems to be pretty good even when playing Mario 64 on it. You got a keyboard that's okay enough to type. It's pretty small, it's kind of like a netbook. And despite it feeling older than most netbooks, it feels less compromised than one, because you can easily just turn this thing into a tablet, and it actually kind of predated a lot of 2-in-1 devices that would come in more recent decades that would follow this. There are several devices like this from the late 2000s, but this is the one I have, and I think it's pretty damn cool. And best of all, it looks like a portable DVD player. I wasn't able to find much about this company, but it seems that PCs like this are what they would specialize in. And they even made, and I swear this is real, they made a version of this computer with 2 screens. They made a dual screen version of this computer. If I ever find one of those, I will make a video about it, and I'll put a DS emulator on it. Top screen here, bottom screen here. So yeah, that was a little overview of this small little guy here. Mario sleeping, and my name is Frogfordok. You can say that however you want, I really don't care. New videos whenever I like. Consider becoming a channel member like all these people on the screen have. You get some bonus videos, early access to my upcoming videos, custom Discord server roles, and your very own Minecraft server, all rolled into one. Starts at $1 a month. And yeah, that's about it. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching.